Hello, welcome back to Swans Cast, everyone. So we are back again, second video of 2022. So welcome back, Lee.
Hello, how are we doing?
Yeah, good. You feeling better this week?
Yeah, much better now, and I'm out of isolation, so I'm back to a bit of freedom this weekend, which is good.
Yeah. So how are you feeling about the week just gone then? What have you been up to? And
Oh, not much. I only got out of isolation on the back end of last week, so the weekend was actually allowed out, so it was nice to get out and get some fresh air and live again. So that was good
yeah,
over the weekend, and then we'll talk about the football in a bit, but that ruined that. Well,
yeah,
I thought it was, but it wasn't too bad. The actual game, but then the news that's come out has kind of ruined it all.
yeah, it has. I'll take that off a minute because I jumped the gun with that a little bit.
Spoiler.
But yeah, spoilers, what we're going to talk about. Yeah, same. I mean, I've been off work this week, so it's been a bit chill for me, but good to be back talking about football. Managed to catch quite a bit of the game against Huddersfield. Didn't manage to watch it, but I was listening to it in the car. Just went out to sit in the car to listen to it on the radio because I couldn't. Well, I don't know if it was on Swans TV. I should have checked actually, but it was an away game. But I thought 3 o'clock one's not usually on there.
No,
Do you know?
they still can't. They still got a 3 o'clock blackout, haven't they?
Yeah,
Which still does my head in.
it's just hard to watch your football team these days. I missed the days where everything was available in COVID, but I mean, obviously there's reasons for that, but it just shows it can be done, which is why it's so frustrating now because you've had it taken away.
I think it's going that way. It's got to at some point. I think there'll be a time where we'll be able to stream
Netflix?
3 o'clock.
Where's the Zone coming in for the
Well,
championship?
I heard that. How is it DAZN? I know everyone says DAZN, but it's DAZN, isn't it?
DAZN. I think it's just like
DAZN.
cool, isn't it?
It is DAZN, but like I read somewhere, I don't know if it was true, that they had bought BT, I think.
I think what BT Sport like.
Yeah, for like the Champions League and stuff. I think. I don't know if that's true.
Is that Eddie Hearn? Like,
yeah, so that'd be interesting if they have bought it.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with that. Before we get started, then we're going to change the order up this week. We're going to start with the news this time, so word on Wine Street. But before we get there, don't forget to subscribe to the video and like as well, because it shows us that you enjoy what we're talking about, helps us know if we're going in the right direction, if we need to change things up a little bit. So let us know by liking and subscribing. Also, keep up to date with all of our videos, and let us know in the comments as well about what we spoke about, what you think on the matters we're going to discuss, especially the transfer headlines that have come out this week. So there's a couple of interesting ones. So yeah, we look forward to seeing what you say there. We try and reply to as many as we can. I say as many as we can. We don't, obviously get loads, but we do try and reply to them all. Let's get started then. So before we talk about any of the football, we're going to talk about some headlines. So, I mean, you could take a pick about this headline. I've gone for this one just because there's a little bit more potential information here. But the gist of this one is Jamie Paterson wasn't in the matchday squad against Huddersfield. We were led to believe, I believe Russell Martin said in his interview that he was injured and not available. So we were led to believe that was the case. But then it came out, I think, what day was it? Sunday it came out? Or was it after
Sunday
the game?
It was. Yeah, Saturday, I think.
Sunday it came out that basically he refused to play because he's not happy with his contract terms. Now, the background of that is obviously he signed a 1-year deal for free in the summer last year. He's basically Russell Martin's first signing. I think he came in like within a couple of days of Martin being here, so quite quick turnaround there. And yeah, so he's signed on a free, and then now his contract extension has been triggered, which I think was agreed back when he signed his original contract. If he played 25 games for the club, it would get automatically triggered, but they agreed it early after he played 22 games, which, I mean, if you triggered it early, I guess there has to be some form of agreement there as well. Although I've read the club triggered it early, but surely, if he's not happy with that, he'd wait till the 25 games. He could say, we're waiting. But yeah, that didn't happen. And now all of a sudden, he's not happy with the terms. Whether that's a misunderstanding of like what terms were agreed at the start, when he signed it originally, like the money. Maybe he thought like on the extension he'd have new terms. I don't know. We don't know all the information, but it's kind of like rocked the club a little bit, I think. But yeah, shout out to Planet Swans for the article. I'll go through this in a minute. I think I just waffled on a little bit trying to explain that. But Lee, if you want to give us your view on what's happened.
Yeah, I don't know what to say really. I didn't really see it coming, but just a bit annoyed at the whole situation, to be honest. The worst, and we probably obviously don't know the ins and outs, so it's hard to blame one party. So we got to do it a bit carefully. But from the outside, it just looks like that Paterson wants more money. Essentially, he's triggered that extension, or the club triggered it, but he got there, and it looks like he's not happy with the terms. Now, the most annoying thing is him saying that his head is not right to not play on the weekend or in the cup game, which I just don't think will sit right with any fans, and rightly so, because we dragged him out of the wilderness. He didn't have a club in the summer. He came out himself and said he was lucky to get the chance, because he's worked with Russell Martin. Russell Martin's
30 years old as well.
30 years old, without a club. So for then, 6 months later to be, my head's not right now because my contract's not right, because I'm not being paid.
Yeah.
What I think it's a bit of a shit move, to be honest. But we don't know if there was just being a bit of a devil's advocate. You don't know if there was a gentleman's agreement or something that the club are not sort of giving him that he thinks he's owed. I don't know, but I just think with a club with a player basically refusing to play because he's not getting more money is there's no excuse for it.
Yeah, obviously we don't know the real story in terms of what's actually happened. You hear from all the news outlets, and I'm sure they're reliable, but there's always going to be a hint of like Chinese whispers, I think, unless you're actually involved in the situation. But you can only judge based on what you know, and if neither party's necessarily coming out and talking about it, which you wouldn't expect they would, then you can only make those assumptions. But from what it does look like, you said, it's a bit shady. I mean, I feel like it's probably a misguided move led by an agent based on interest from another club, which is what this article is suggesting. West Brom having an interest in Jamie Paterson, and that is potentially why this has all now come about. So obviously, I guess with a club like West Brom, who are a lot higher up in the league than us, potentially looking at going back up to the Premier League, as a 30-year-old, maybe you think, oh my God, like, if they come in for me, maybe I'll have a realistic chance of playing in the Premier League before I retire. For example, could be the sort of reasonings behind it, whether it's from him or his agent. Not here to say whether I agree or not, just to say what I think might be happening. So West Brom sniffing around, it would have been easier perhaps for them to sniff around, get a cheaper deal when he's expiring in 6 months. Obviously, the contract extension got triggered. It looked like it was always going to get triggered, but at the end of the day, perhaps the agent's like, well, that kind of makes it more difficult for you to get a move now because all of a sudden they've got to pay a little bit more and you are a bit older and all this, and it's a bit of a risky one for them. They don't want to now pay. So he's kicking up a stink to try and force out a move, perhaps, from what the agent's feeding him.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It absolutely stinks of an agent trying to get a move, especially with the timing of it in the middle of the transfer window. And it keeps happening all the time now. You get, players want to leave in the news. The players don't actually come out themselves and say anything. And then, obviously, if he does leave, then he's gone. But then, obviously, if they can't force a move, and he has to sort of reintegrate back into the Swans team, then he'll probably come out then and say like, "Oh no, I never wanted to leave. I always wanted to stay here. It was just, whatever it was." But realistically, if the move came about, he probably would have gone.
You could compare this directly with what happened with Grimes in the summer, because obviously he was very highly linked to going away, but he never refused to play.
Yeah, that's what doesn't sit right with Swans fans. If the headline now was, if Paterson played on the weekend, and the headline come out, today, and it said, West Brom are interested in Jamie Paterson, then I think Swans fans would just be like, oh, we don't want to see him go, we don't want to see him leave. It's too soon. He's been playing well, whatever. but I think just for him to come out and say like his head wasn't right, or that's reportedly what's gone on.
Yeah, I'm surprised because I think he's had a
It's
good
just
time here
annoying.
so far, and I mean, there's all the memes like the tweets from his mother, especially after the Derby game and the Cardiff game, the Derby, and it seemed like he was like really enjoying his football here. Like you said, he talked about how we sort of offered him a last opportunity. He won't find in a club until we came in, so he kind of jumped at the chance. Looked like he was enjoying his football, building good relationships with the squad. Like even on Instagram, during the time where we couldn't play because of the cancellations because of COVID, he's having banter on Instagram, being like, "Oh, can we kick a ball yet?" And all the players are jumping on the comments, being like, "Oh, soon, soon." But then this comes out, and he hasn't kicked the ball since he's made those comments. Like, I feel like, is it really what he wants, or is it what he's been advised? And yeah, okay, you get to the point where the bottom line is you don't have to follow what you're being advised, and you can make that decision yourself and say, no, this is what I'm doing. Don't, you're going to make things awkward or worse for me. But he hasn't done that, and that's what the kicker is, I think, for a lot of Swans fans. Even if he backtracks, it's like,
Yeah, it's going to be hard now. It's going to be hard now for anybody to see him in the same light, even if he doesn't leave after basically refusing to play.
Unless he's got a genuine good reason, and something comes out to say, okay, fair. Like some of the stuff that was reported weren't quite true, and but it's.
But you could argue his motivation now, because I remember when the story came out before Christmas that because of what he's done so far, he has sort of triggered this extension or whatever he's got. Then was that his sole motivation for playing well? Get this contract, trigger this extension, and negotiate a move. Was that his motivation for playing well?
Yeah, but surely it's easier to negotiate a move if he doesn't trigger the contract.
Yeah, no, but I mean, was that his motivation only? Was more money? Yeah. I'm saying, just
if more money is but I mean,
because I'd argue since that story came out that he was up for this extension, that he played so well. I don't think he's played that well. I mean, it coincided with the team not playing very well before Christmas. I'd say from the end of November onwards, but he hasn't played well since that's come out.
The thing for me, though, is like if he does want more money, and because he's played well, but like 6 months after getting rewarded for your contract, and if this extension or the terms around this extension don't sit right with him or was frustrated, like whatever about it has annoyed him, it's either his agent hasn't told him properly what he's already signed into, and that's what he's frustrated about. So then that's his agent's fault, or he's just rushed anyway, because like it was quite quick after Russell Martin signed to him signing. Usually it takes a couple of days, of transfer rumours, and then you get a player in. But it was quite quick, and Russell Martin came out and said, like, no, he came in and asked for this player. So it makes me think, did he just jump at the chance of signing a contract to play football, which is fine. But then now all of a sudden he's like not happy with something that he signed, and now he's kicking up a stink about it. It's like, well, he signed the contract. So, and if you do want improved terms, maybe there's a better way to deal with that than to refuse to play, or something that you've agreed to in the past. And I can completely understand why the club wouldn't want to back down, because at the end of the day, like, he's trying to hold them for ransom on something that was previously agreed. So if they back down to him, what's that say to the rest of the players? I think the money that he's on is reportedly on the lower end for, I say lower end, it's probably not lower end, I think it's like in the middle, but in terms of his like output this season and contribution, it's probably not as high as, it should be higher based on his performance, but that's obviously not how it works. You sign your contract before you perform. But I think that's obviously what has caused the issue. He thinks he's probably worth more to the team, but then wait for your next contract, isn't it?
So soon, just, you start a new job and 6 months in, I'm actually pretty good at this job. I want more pay straight away. It's a bit just, I don't know. I mean, and you're either in, it'd be interesting to see because what camp people are in, because I've seen some people sort of say, well, he has played well, he's done well for us, give him what he wants, don't let him leave. Or are you in the camp of, well, he's kicking up this fuss, he wants more money, let him go?
I think we're in a tricky situation. I think I'm torn between two minds, because I don't know if we'll replace him if he does go, and we're already short in that area of the pitch. But at the same time, I don't want to buckle and give him what he wants. But I don't want him to go. Like it's hard.
I'm leaning more towards letting him go. If what's been said is true, I'll caveat it by saying if it is true, if he said he's not in the right frame of mind to play, and he already wants more money, I'm in the camp of just let him go. He's only been here for 6 months. Let him go.
Yeah, I mean I just hope that we can replace him. Obviously, if we do get a fee for letting him go, but it's just hard.
I know
because he was a
it's
free
short.
transfer, and the fee that we'd get for him is hard to replace. I don't know. We'll see.
I know we might be short in that area, but I just think if he's already kicking up this sort of fuss about contract issues long term, is that somebody you want in the club? I mean, if it carries on the way it's going, we want Russell Martin to be here for a few years in his project. We've already seen a high turnover of players anyway from last season to this season. If already you've got someone who's come in and kicking up a fuss like this after 6 months, I would say, there's the door. We'll find someone else.
Weird, because he was at some clubs like Bristol for a while, and I don't think ever was in a position to be like this.
No.
Like, you go to a club where you never really found a club where you're settled at, and then you start playing well somewhere, and then all of a sudden you're just being a dickhead.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird, especially at the tail end of your career. Just enjoy the rest of your football before you retire. Like, or maybe that's what it is, and they get a last payday before I retire.
Last payday. Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Or maybe if you play and look at the other side of it, maybe the club has done something dodgy and has been a bit like we there's been stuff in the past in it, especially since the Americans have come in, that's not been the best in terms of the dealt with stuff and stingy on the money and a bit dodgy. So maybe there could be something to do with that, but you'd like to think if it's a contract signed on paper, then that wouldn't be the case because it's all signed. But you never know until you know the full details. You've got to keep that door open. It could be something that whatever's annoyed him is a genuine annoyance, and but we'll have to wait and see until more comes out. But last thing on that story, and credit to Swansea Independent for this, but apparently he's asked to talk about his recent behaviour with the club. So whether that's a bit of him like being
backing down,
maybe I haven't done the right thing here, or whether it's just another way of saying they're going to talk about the situation. I'm not sure, but I'm sure this is not the last we will have heard from this story. Well, it won't be the last, because he's either going to stay here and be unhappy, stay here and have a new contract, and that might cause other issues, or he's going to go. So it's definitely more to the story in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I think watch his space on that one.
Yeah. On to the next transfer story. So we've got a player that has, I don't know if it's, is it confirmed? Like, does he have the shirt up yet?
Yeah, I've seen the shirt picture.
Jake Bidwell has left and gone to Coventry. And I guess I think some of us maybe were expecting he was linked with moves away in the summer. He's been not in the team for a couple of weeks. But yeah, and his contract is up in the summer as well, so in 6 months' time. But he's gone on a free transfer, which is probably the bit that is a bit of a kicker. People perhaps don't understand.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, I'd kind of forgotten about it myself. I know he was linked with Middlesbrough in the summer, but I didn't really, like, going into this transfer window, it wasn't on my mind that we would lose him. So when the story came out last week, or it was about last week, wasn't it, that it first sort of, there was a bit of interest, or maybe just before the game on Saturday, that it came out that Coventry were interested. That was a bit of a surprise to me, but it does kind of make sense because I think he probably is one of the higher earners in the squad now, and I think they're just looking to offload some of these players.
I think he was in the top 3, which is weird because we signed him on a free transfer from QPR.
Yeah, I'd say that like Grimes is probably the top, isn't he? And I think Bidwell and Bennett, I think.
Bennett makes sense. He's come from a Premier League club, but he came from QPR on free transfer, so I'm surprised. And maybe it's because all the other ones have gone. Maybe.
I think it works out as well. When you go on a free transfer, you probably get more wages because the club doesn't have to pay anything, do they, for the transfer, so they probably give it in extra wages.
But that's probably true.
worryingly, again, which I've said on every transfer window, I think our net movement in a transfer window is going to be worse off again, because I think Bidwell was playing well this season. Him and Manning on that side, like we said, since they haven't been playing together, that's when our downfall has happened. And I just, it just makes me nervous, because every transfer window we seem to be worse off, I think, at the end. But what will happen is we'll probably get rid of a few more players, and then we'll sign 2 or 3 on like deadline day, and it'll be okay. Actually, it's not that bad. But then over time, it's just the squad's getting worse.
Yeah, I mean, this one, I'm not that frustrated about. Frustrated as free, but then at the same time, if he's free in the summer and it's like get him off the wages to allow someone to come in now, I'd imagine that's what the outcome of this is, because maybe you couldn't get a fee for him right now because people are like, well, I'll just wait till the summer. So they've just let him go early because there's 6 months of his wage off if it's that high. And maybe those wages off the books now does allow us to make 1 or 2 signings that we wouldn't have otherwise needed to make. And obviously Russell Martin's got his own ideas going forward about how he wants to build a team. And if Bidwell won't fully commit, I think, there was a contract dispute as well. So he probably didn't want what he was getting offered. And then so Martin was like, all right, okay, that's fine. I'm not going to stop you going, which I feel like it's a deal that suits all parties, really, this one. Whereas the Paterson situation is a lot more controversial.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say I was necessarily frustrated with it, but I think that, the communication from the club lately has been that we're in a good financial position, but then this transfer window again is just screaming that we need to get rid of players before we bring any in. And are they going to be the same quality?
Like, yeah, but I guess the point is, like, if Martin if he knows he's going to go in the summer anyway, he hasn't been playing as a result of whatever's been going on. This is probably going to be the same going forward for the rest of the season. Manning will primarily be there, and I guess they're going to bring someone else in or look to. So what's the point of keeping him there, paying all his wages when he's going to go for free in the summer?
I understand it totally, as a business decision, but as a football decision, we haven't got, apart from Manning, we haven't got another left back unless they bring someone in. I know they played Latabodier on the weekend, and he actually played all right. But long term, there's no one there to cover. And defensively, we've been all over the place. And I think this is probably making sense now, because you've got like Bidwell sort of was out to the side for a while, so this was obviously in the pipeline, I think. There's other sort of rumours around it. We've seen like there was a rumour about Cabango, wasn't there, and other players. It's just probably disrupting everything at the moment, and
I think the Cabango one was just waffle, though.
Yeah, I know, but Led going as well, I think it's just not helping us on the pitch. And I don't think we'll get, well, I hope we won't get pulled into a relegation battle. But
we're not really that far away, but we'll look at that later.
But yeah, I know, exactly. We're not that far away, so we can't really be affording to just, sell players again and bring in another. I don't think we've played the same back five all season. Like game
we had
after
the
game.
period where we were doing well. I think that was the most consistent back five.
Yeah, and now they're all bloody leaving.
Yeah, no, Bidwell was in that back five. Led was in that back five.
So I do get, I totally get the transfer window, but it is just worrying that it's just, I don't know, it's just so much disruption at the moment. And I know we're in a bit of a transition, but we just seem to be getting rid of so many players and bringing in new ones, and I don't know, when's it going to stop? Basically, yeah.
Well, it might not stop because it looks like another one's probably going to go, and you probably can't blame this one. But Jay Felton, there's 2 actually. One rumour to Blackpool, another one to Barnsley.
This doesn't make sense to me. This doesn't make sense at all. Again, this one, because I generally think he's a top 10 Championship player at least. I think when he's playing on form, I think he's a great player. So for us not to be playing him is strange. But I just was convinced that maybe he was going to go to like Forest, that maybe Cooper had lined up bringing him in. But now that we see that it's either Blackpool or Barnsley, and no disrespect to either club, but that doesn't make sense to me. Like we were saying before we came on, if he goes to Barnsley, then he's going to be in League One next year.
Yeah, I mean, is this another case of being high earner? Like he signed a new contract, didn't he, recently? So yeah. I think he's got a couple of years, but I don't know.
Yeah, but again, like, are we desperate to get him off the books as well?
No,
Like,
I
are we
don't know. I'm
back
just
in this
wondering. I'm
position?
just
No,
theorizing.
I think I think you're probably right. Excuse me. I think you're probably right there. He probably is one of the highest earners. Has he got a thing in his contract where if he plays some more games that he triggers something? Because he seemed to have a couple of games at the beginning and then like now not at all.
We got on the bench on the weekend, which was good,
Yeah, but
with Walsh. But like it says to me, like Walsh had a mare in the cup game, and he's not really done a lot all season. We know what Fulton offers. Like on the bench, there was two of the centre midfielders there. Yeah, so Grimes, Downs, Smith were all on the pitch. One of them's got to come on as a sub at some point. Like,
yeah,
it's not like we've got the depth that says what he has to go.
I know.
I don't think.
No, I agree. I just don't think it makes sense. But if you think like how good he was last season, like consistently in the side up to the playoff final, and then since the playoff final, I know he had a red, and then he was out for the first couple of games of the season. He just hasn't played at all. It just doesn't. I just haven't seen a fall from grace like that for a while. Whether he's not, maybe Russell Martin doesn't like him. I don't know, but it just doesn't. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
And that's what's worrying me. I just keep thinking that these players are just getting moved on again.
We're one
just
transfer
for
away from Danda
financial.
getting back on a bench.
Yeah, I know. Well, he must be on pennies because they won't get rid of him.
He's gone in the summer. Another defender might be on the way out. Well, we've talked about this for a while, but it still hasn't happened. Russell Martin's just been saying that it's all in Liverpool's hands in regards to Reece Williams being recalled. I mean, he didn't make the bench again, I don't think, against Huddersfield. I'll check now quickly. No, he wasn't on the bench. I didn't think he was. Well, he came on the other day, didn't he? He didn't have a best 5-10 minutes that he was on for, but he just isn't around. He's just not around the first team, really.
No, it's not working out, is it? At all. I think he needs to go back, and if we can use that to get someone else in again. But again, we need some consistency soon. Like the movement already on our, like I'm sure there's not. Well, maybe there is, but there can't be many clubs that have had so much activity like we've had in the first 17 days of the transfer window.
Yeah,
if he goes, they'll have to bring someone in, won't they?
Yeah, they will. Well, I mean, they had that other guy on the bench. I don't know whether they're planning. Like Brandon Cooper's still there. Yeah, he didn't play, and Bennett didn't play on the weekend either, did he? So, Russell Martin has said, we've been really honest with Liverpool about the opportunities Reece has had and the potential opportunities he has moving forward. So the ball is in their court. We can't send him back. That's the danger of doing loans. The parent club is always in control. The fact that he's specifically said we can't send him back makes me think that if we could, then he wouldn't be here anymore.
Yeah. So basically they said, look, he's not going to play. So it's up to you. Ball's in your court.
I mean, I guess it's more like he's not been good enough so far. He needs to force his way into the team, but he'll have limited opportunities to do that, but he needs to take them when they come.
Yeah, that's fair.
The other one then, Dan Williams has gone out on loan. We knew that he was coming, that he was probably going to go somewhere, and he's gone to the Irish top flight. And he's gone to Dundalk. I don't know if I said that right, but
yeah,
for the rest of the season. So yeah, it would just be good for him to get some playing time at first team level.
Yeah, I think it's a good move for him just to get some game time. Always helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy with that.
Okay. I'll bring this back up in a second, but let's move on. Anything else? Any final words on the transfer situation? I haven't seen any. I know there was the MK Dons players we were linked with, and I saw that we maybe were priced out of moves for them both, but yeah, I don't really know what's going on in terms of incomings at the moment.
Well, to be honest, there's not a lot of rumours of incomings, but plenty of outgoings. But they need to bring in players quickly with the ones that are going out, I think. Like the lead one, he went and Christie came in and the Fisher came Swift, in, didn't he? And Bender went out.
Fisher, we knew for a while, I think, was going to happen.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been another one like that, which is the concern, perhaps.
Yeah. No, like Bidwell's gone and potentially Paterson's going to go.
Yeah.
We need some good news in the transfer window, I think, soon. We need someone to be coming in, I think.
Okay, yeah, we do. But there's still some time. There's still 2 weeks left, I think.
But come the end of the transfer window, it'll be like the start of the season again. It'll be like a new squad.
This season's a write-off at this point, and we just need to get to the end and have a proper season next year.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, yeah, and that's if and everybody doesn't leave in the summer.
Yeah, well, at least, if Martin's still here, at least he'll have a full summer to work with whoever
if
is.
the manager's still here as well, yeah.
You sound so full of enthusiasm about the club right now, Lee.
I'm
sure everyone listening is loving it.
I've said it loads of times though. The transfer window always gets to me because they always seem to make it look good on paper in the end. So, like, no doubt we'll probably have a good 2 or 3 signings come in maybe now before the end of the window, and it'll look good. But then when you look at what the squad we had before the transfer window to now, and we've probably got rid of some players and brought other players in on loan as a replacement. Well, I think just the last couple of transfer windows, the squad's been depleted, and I think it's gonna happen again.
Well, I think I heard a rumor that Wilfred Boney was eating a Risola Rossi, so
yeah, that'll probably happen soon enough.
Anyway, let's move on to the the verdict then. So we've got Huddersfield against Swansea up in Huddersfield, and Huddersfield high flying before the game, up challenging up the playoffs area. So the 7th now afterwards, but I think they might have been 5th or 6th or something before kickoff. But yeah, so tough game for us. Obviously, we're down in 17th. You said lost before the game, didn't you? I said draw. So I got it right, but I think I said 2-2, no 1-1.
Yeah.
But yeah, to go up there, I think, and we got a point. It's a good point in the end.
I think
when you look at the match, very, very frustrating in a way, but yeah, good point.
Yeah, I always say take a point away from home, especially somebody who's pushing top 6 and 7. I think it's a good point away from home. Always take that. And actually, we'll probably come on to in a bit. I think we probably maybe deserve to sneak it in the end.
Yeah, I think so. It's quite interesting when you look at SofaScore and look at the ratings. And again, they're down to interpretation and opinion. But both goalkeepers had the highest rating for each team.
Yeah.
Lee Nichols in the Huddersfield goal had a 9.1, which says a lot because he did make some top saves. And you said we probably deserve to sneak it. Shows that probably was the case.
And I was wrong. I thought he was going to put Fisher in. So I was surprised when Hamer was starting.
And I shouldn't have listened to you because I said I was going for Hamer all that time. And then on my Fan Hub squad predictor, I put Fisher in.
Yeah,
I was like, why have I done that?
I had 3 wrong, and one of them was Fisher. I can't remember the other one was. I think I had Bennett instead of
Latbode,
and Latbode, yeah. I had.
I
can't remember.
I
put Manning on the wing. I did. I put Manning on the wing.
Yeah, I had Manning on the wing. I had Cabango though. It was so it was like Latbode dropped out for Bennett for me, and then I think I had everyone else right other than the keeper. So your fault.
I'll take the hit on that one.
Yeah, so I mean, Huddersfield started the game better. They had a goal disallowed from corner, which point blank comes to Hamer. He saves it, but it's like literally straight at him. But at the same time, you've got to react to get a hand in the way. But he saves it into an area that's like, well, it was a tap in for the player, basically. Couldn't be helped. I think you could question potentially, like, why is there no player marking him? But then at the same time, he was offside, so the goal didn't count. So, but it could have been a bad start, but it didn't take too much longer after that for Huddersfield to actually take the lead in the 15th minute, where Danel Sinani, I think that's how you say his name, scored a goal. I'm not going to show a clip because obviously not really allowed to do that, but I've got a still that we're going to show. If I could get the right angle, there we are. So you said you saw a lot of people saying maybe it was Hamer making a mistake because he didn't save it very well. He kind of it was quite a tame shot that comes in, and he probably could have picked it up if he reacted quicker, but I think he doesn't react quicker because this picture for me tells the story. The ball is essentially broken free, you can see Kyle Norton's on the floor. He's making a sliding tackle with whoever the Huddersfield player is here that's on the floor with him. And the ball, as a result, has sort of like got freed up in the box. Everyone is tracking back. So that's why Downs is running this way, looking over his shoulder. At this point, Cabango and Manning look to react to clear the ball. Now, there's two mistakes. I think a couple of mistakes, actually, to discuss. For a start, you've got Christie here, who's like kind of, well, you can tell from his reaction, he thinks one of these players is clearing the ball.
Yeah.
He's slowing down. He's looking, to hold position to be an option if we get out, basically. Hamer, at the same time, he's kind of shouting at one of them to clear the ball. He's not coming for it. He's quite comfortable that one of them will get there first. I think Downs, he's looking at the ball right there, but he doesn't actually stop running till he gets out of play, and then he starts coming back.
I think he thinks that someone's going to clear that there as well, because he just he slows his run.
He slows his run, and then but he reacts late, and then kind of decides, oh, actually, no, I do need to get there, because he does go for it in the end, but he doesn't get there. But he could react sooner. It's just a bad decision, I think, by him. But ultimately, like, Cabango is probably the closest. He doesn't get there. And Manning is also coming across, and he doesn't get there. I don't think Manning should be coming across, though, because he leaves a mass, he basically leaves these two guys. Actually, not this one, but there's another. I think there's another guy running in from the back. But
no, I think it's the two there, and the two Huddersfield players in the centre there. The one closest to us is the one who takes the shot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he leaves
the guy
this
on the right
free,
is the one who scores. Yeah,
but there's another guy that comes in, I think, from behind. Not that he matters, but Manning coming in just leaves a massive gap for player to tap the ball in. So yeah, this guy here, you can't see obviously if you're listening on Spotify, but Huddersfield player is further out than both the Swansea players, manages to get to the ball first, call it desire, whatever you want, but slow reactions from Swansea, they should have dealt with it. That's why Hamer, I think, doesn't save it very well, because as far as I'm concerned, the Swansea players should be dealing with it and clearing it first. He does react and saves the ball initially. Probably isn't the best save, let's be honest. And he does put it into a dangerous area. He puts it exactly where Manning has just vacated, where there's a player there waiting to tap in the ball, essentially. And that's why I don't think Manning should be coming across, especially because he can see Cabango's going for this ball. And again, back to why I think Downs needs to react quicker, especially in the position that he's in.
Yeah,
but
I can't disagree with that. I thought Hamer was a bit unlucky, really, because they've got to deal with it between them there. I think Cabango's got to take command of it, because he runs towards it and sees Manning coming across and sort of slows down, and then neither of them get to it, and that player coming in, obviously gets to it first and gets a shot off that Hamer's not expecting, because they're those two. One of those two should probably get there first. And after that as well, you can see Hamer in prime position there to make a save, he's ready. But I think after you roll that on about a couple of seconds, he stands up and he's pointing out for one of them to clear it. So he's expecting them to clear it. And then the shot comes in and he's not set. So he actually does well to get down as quick as he does from the position he's in.
That's just before he makes the save. So you can have a look. The guy's just taken a shot and it's got through. Look at Manning and Cabango there. They're literally standing between him and the goal, but they didn't get there first. That's the concerning thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And but even before that, just to get to that position, we're so out of position because we got caught on the break. It was only two balls. Yeah. One ball from the defence into the midfield just absolutely wiped out our midfield. They were completely out of the game. And then a second ball then comes wide, and we're just completely out of it. We just
Christie was pushed up. He's obviously come back late, and at this point he's just walking. Grimes, I guess you could argue, maybe should have covered the gap that Manning left. With the guy who actually ended up scoring, he's the closest person there to cover that gap. But then the problem is, and as much as he might have stopped the goal there, with the bigger defensive picture, Manning just coming across there, being two people marking our one player who's still got the shot away. If Grimes does now cover, when we clear the ball, or say we want to pass the ball out, there's no one there.
Yeah.
Because everyone should be doing their own job. So as soon as one person's leaving their post, if you like, and everyone's covering, that's where, again, the defensive structure breaks down. And I think just these pictures just show it all over the place, really, because there's no structure there.
It was a bit
And
of a
again,
mess
I
there.
said about Downs, he didn't come like at this point. Regardless of whether you think someone else is getting there, why are you content to slow down, make your way to basically the edge of the pitch and just stop in your own box?
Yeah, I know. I think he thinks, like we said, I think he thinks that one of those two is going to clear it there, and we
But
get
even
away
if we
with it.
do
And I
clear it,
think it's
like
just,
you shouldn't still be here. Like you should be doing something. You should be in a better position. Like what if
I
they
know,
passed it out? Then you need to be making yourself available because often we do try pass it out.
I know. He's probably sprinted back, in all fairness, to get into position.
Yeah, look, I understand. I just think in terms of everyone, like he
Yeah,
could
no, I
have done
agree.
more.
I mean, we could see, we could. It's handy to have the pictures to be like nitpicky on the defending, but I just thought like, we just picked up where we left off here because we got cut open so easily there, and then obviously there's all the mix up in the box. I just thought, here we go again with the defensive mistakes all over the place.
I just want
and
to
we had a
say,
disallowed goal. I just thought it's going to be one of these games again.
oh yeah, they disallowed goal. I just want to say, obviously, Downs had a very good game afterwards. I think, he obviously scored our goal. Very happy with that. I think he did well. I did see on
He's
Twitter
class.
some people were questioning him in the deeper role and his defensive capabilities, which maybe these pictures do give credit to that argument, but I think we need to see a little bit more.
I think no, you said you're right. Like maybe they're right. I think we need to ring fence Grimes and Downs in the middle. I just the game, like they just need to be in there, those two, and
for me,
not move them around.
Maybe Corey Smith drops to the deeper role.
Yeah,
I think he's more naturally a deeper player, and Downs making the move that he made and scoring the goal when he was pushed a bit further up when we were well on top. It resulted in a goal and he took it well, to be fair. So maybe they can do each other's roles a bit better. I don't know. I mean, Downs has been good so far. He's had a good season. I'm not criticising him, but Corey Smith has never scored a goal for us. He's been playing in the role behind the striker. Downs is pushed up a little bit when we're chasing the game and he gets a goal.
I still don't like that he plays Corey Smith ahead as another option with someone's not available. He puts Corey Smith in that two behind the striker. I really don't understand it. Like I like Corey Smith as well. I'm not nothing against him. I think he's a good player, but he's just not attacking, is he?
No.
He does actually get the assist for the goal, though. I will say that. But I just think
but that's fine. Getting assists in it, but when he's had the opportunity to score himself, he's always buckled.
We're still traumatized from the Brighton game when we went up, and just have no idea how he didn't score in that game.
Yeah. Okay, going forward anyway, we had 70% possession, 18 shots with 11 on target. So we actually, second half especially, after the goal, really, we kind of took control of the game and really stayed in control, proper dominated Huddersfield until 1-1. They had one chance in the first half after to make it 2-0. They probably should have done so. They smashed it straight at Hamo. Didn't know much about it, but his face saved the day on that occasion. But otherwise, it was all Swansea, which was good away from home against a team who were fighting in the playoffs. And one of their players, I think he's Welsh, but regardless, he came out and said he was the best team that they've played against this season. I'd take that with a pinch of salt, but at the end of the day, the results is what matters, and we know where we want to be. But I guess it's a good sign going forward. It's just nice to hear and should give you hope that things are going in the right direction.
Yeah, they were brilliant second half. I mean, we were like we probably should have gone in 2 down, but then having saying that, like Grimes had a good shot outside the box and Manning had a good strike which the keeper saved in the first half as well.
But, I mean, their keeper was basically man of the match, so
yeah. But I did worry in the first half. I thought, it's just like where we've picked up, where we've left off again. We seem to get cut open, but no, second half they were brilliant. If we can take that into the games, it's what we've seen before. It was just passing teams into submission. You don't have to do so much defending if you just got control of the ball.
If you got the ball,
yeah. I think that's the best way. He's gonna have to stop these defensive.
We're gonna have to just play. We'll score more than you.
We'll just have to up it to about 90% possession, and we should be all right then.
Yeah. So 812 passes made to 342. So 800 again. It's a good number.
That's good. I mean, it's good Christie, to get back to that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Christie had a good shot that was saved. Cham had a good effort. Perot could have won it with a header. The last last sort of play of the game, basically. And Obafemi, basically mucked up a 1v1 when he could have slipped in Perot as well, after intercepting the ball and deep in their own half after Huddersfield gave it away, doing what we do best. So yeah, really good positive signs in the second half here. So the important thing is to take that second half performance forward into the next game at home against Preston. Couple of notes on the subs bench. So Jay Felton did feature there, but he didn't come on. First time he's been there for a while, since in the league games anyway. Obafemi came on for Christie in the 68th minute. I'm sure when Obafemi came on, he did put Smith right wing back.
He might have. Yeah, he might have.
Because that's where he got the assist from, wasn't it? Like the right wing back position.
It seemed like that when Obafemi came on as well. It seemed it was like he was pushed up with Perot.
Yeah, which
looked quite good. I think if they can have some game time together, that might be dangerous. Yeah,
and then Carl Joseph also came on in the 80th minute for a bit of a cameo. Didn't really see enough to judge his performance there, though, for Ncham. So he played. Well, I don't really know when he played. I mean, I don't know if he started into where Ncham was or whatever happened. I think maybe he might have gone right back and Smith come back into the middle to shore up, because after we did go 1-1, Huddersfield did come and try and win the game. They kind of woke up a little bit at that point. But regardless, we got a point. So a point away from home. It stopped the rut. That's the main thing. Of 3 straight league defeats, 4 in all competitions. So now we need to build from here. Still got a couple of games in hand to do that. Don't know when any of the... Well, some of it, I think, might have been announced.
I think they've all been announced now. I think the Luton game is midweek and the QPR game is in, and the the Fulham game was like a bit later on, I think. Like quite far ahead, I think. Like March, maybe, I think.
Fair enough.
But yeah.
So yeah, look forward to them.
8th of March.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Just in case you were wondering.
I just want to touch on the championship table now, though. Obviously, Huddersfield there in 7th after their draw with us. We stay in the 17th. Derby County, are they going to do the imaginable? The unimaginable?
I hope they do. Can you imagine? It'd be class if they did it.
Are they under a transfer embargo again?
I think so. If you look, though, like 21-point deduction, they'd be 11th.
Yeah, and they've got a +1 goal difference as well, which is crazy for the team down in 23rd.
Look at their form. They've drawn 1 game in 5. They've won the rest.
Wayne Rooney
it's incredible.
Around down there.
Yeah, well,
if the next 5 matches match that form, they would be out of the relegation zone.
I just as a football fan, you'd love to see that happen. That they stay up.
Look at the
form not at our expense, man.
No, look at the form from Bristol City down. Like only us and Bristol have got to win. Everyone else is full of draws and losses, and then Derby's form. So yeah, okay, they still got a big gap to fill. But when you look at that, you're like, and they've got half a season left to do it. They could do it.
Yeah. Well, it is a false position, isn't it? You can just it stands at a mile there. The form. It'd just be class if they did it. I'd love it if they did it.
Yeah.
But Reading had 9 off as well, didn't they?
Yeah, well, they're in false position too, but I think they are kind of falling down anyway. They have gone a bit rubbish lately.
They'd be on the same points as us, Reading, without the deduction.
What do they have? 6 minus?
6, yeah.
Yeah, it says here. So they would still be sniffing around down there, but just not as close as they are currently. But
yeah, we could do with a win or two, couldn't we?
Hopefully they're going to
be on the other end of that little pack, I think.
Say we got Preston next, haven't we?
Yeah, I'd be more comfortable in like the Blackpool or Luton position, to be honest. I'd take that.
It's only 5-6 points up the road.
Yeah, I know. It's just we need to get some wins on the board. But you know what this league is like. If we go on and win like 2 games now, we'll probably be miles up the table.
Probably. We were a couple of weeks ago after we had our good run, so we were like, we could actually get in the playoffs, and
yeah.
But okay, so going forward then, build up. So we just said we got Preston in the next game. So how are we feeling ahead of the trip of Preston to the Swansea.com stadium?
I don't know. I'm a bit worried again. I think this is a massive game. We're not at must win yet, but we're just desperate for a win, aren't we? We just could do with a nice, good win at home, 2-0, 2-3-0, just and a good performance as well. just to sort of settle it down a bit, because we've been all over the place with the cancellations, and we've had some rubbish games, some rubbish losses. I think we could just do with a nice win on Saturday, because I think if we lose that game at home, we're still looking over our shoulder a bit.
Yeah, I mean, their form has been okay. It's had the last 5. They've had 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw. And that includes the FA Cup loss to Cardiff after extra time, though. So a draw, really. 3 matches postponed in the middle of all that. So I mean, yeah, it's quite an evenly matched game. I think just kind of
I think
takes it by the scruff of the neck.
I think you're right. I think we're quite evenly matched there.
What with our team then? Would he make any changes going into this one?
I don't think so. Like I said about players coming and going at the moment. Like what else? What can he change?
Well, it depends on Paterson's situation, I guess. I would like to see an attacker start instead of Corey Smith in that role at home.
But who? I don't know, unless he plays
Even
Obafemi.
if it's Kyle Joseph or Obafemi, probably.
I'd like to see him play, like we said, I'd like to see him play Obafemi and Cham and Perot together.
Can he change it so it's 2 up top with Cham behind them rather than Perot up top with 2 behind him?
That would be good. I'd be happy with that.
And then Perot can kind of like feed off Obafemi's pace a little bit, perhaps. So Obafemi's looking for the balls over the top, and then gets in behind, hangs back a little bit for the ball, because he likes to hit them from quite far out, doesn't he, Perot?
Yeah, that's potentially the only change, though, isn't it? Really. Looking at who didn't play on Saturday, we just haven't
Bennett
really got.
Perhaps will come back in if he's fit.
I don't know. I just think we're a bit short of options again now, which is a bit worrying.
Because Bennett could come back in, perhaps, and Manning will go back to the left. But I guess Latbo did have a decent game.
Yeah, he did play well. In all fairness, he did. I don't know. It's just long term. I just don't think he can. Yeah.
The thing is, we're not short of options. We got 2 midfielders you could bring on, but Walsh and Felton, you just know they're not going to start.
No, I know exactly. I'm just looking at the bench from Saturday, and it's only really Obafemi and Bennett, like you said, that could come in the team. So potentially only those 2, but other than that, it's going to be the same unless they get a move on, because there's not long. Well, about 2 weeks left of the window.
And I can't see Fisher started now after Hamer's performance.
No, I think Hamer will keep the clubs after that.
Yeah, he's got to lose them, I think.
Yeah, I know. There's extra pressure on him now, though, isn't there?
Well, Martin was saying in his conference that the extra competition has made it good for his players, so he's happy with them sort of up in their game as a result, which maybe that was the intention, and if it is, fair play, obviously did his job for Hamer anyway. The weekend just gone. Looking at Preston, a couple of players. Scott Sinclair.
Yeah. Banker, that is.
Ched Evans.
Yeah.
Top. Started the last game.
How did they get off in the last game? Oh, they drew with Birmingham.
Yeah, they drew.
It's not bad. Not a bad side. Didn't they get the new man? They got a new manager, Renee. I forget his name now. He's Plymouth's manager, wasn't he? And he's just
Ryan
taken
Lowe.
over. Yeah, so I think they're on a bit of a
Bounce.
a bit of a transition as well. Yeah, he's not. I think he hasn't had many games yet, so we'll keep an eye on that one, because we like a new manager bounce, don't we? Giving them a win.
Yeah, I mean, every time we play a team with a new manager, it seems that we struggle.
Yeah, so that's something to look out for. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
How you feeling then? Do you think?
I'm still
out and get a win.
I'm still in that mood. I don't know if it's because like I was in isolation for so long, or like just I don't know.
Well, they better get a win because it's my wedding.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they owe you one.
Someone's going to be watching it under the table. As long as you share with me what's going on.
I can just imagine us just having a whinge when we're 2-0 down. So we're like, oh, what the fuck is going on? And
we just won't tell the girls. We'll just put on a microphone and tell me the score.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll get away with that.
So what's your prediction?
I'm going to say 1-0.
I'm going to say Swans are going to win 2-0. 2-0.
Take that. Well, he'll be all right again, because I was wrong last time. And
well, I said 2-1. I had the result, not the score. But
Yeah,
we'll
I'll take.
that.
I would literally take a 1-0 win last minute. At this point,
Okay.
I think we just need to get some points on the board.
Awesome. So I think that just about brings us to the end. So no shout outs this week. If anyone does want to shout out, let us know. We're happy to do that for you. For whatever reason, let us know and we'll get that sorted. And then nothing else really much to add. Hopefully we get some transfer activity to discuss and more positive transfer activity to discuss for next week. And I think maybe the week after we'll do like a full episode on the transfer window, when it closes, or something like that, aside from our normal weekly thing with the matches. We'll do one focus on just the transfer window. Maybe we'll get some guests on as well for some of the upcoming ones, being a couple with us too. So get another viewpoint, see if we're missing anything that other fans are feeling.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, thanks for joining me again, Lee, and we shall catch you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. It helps us know you like what we're doing and helps us grow as a channel. We're trying to hit 500 before, we're trying to hit 500, no really set deadline, but when we do, we will be doing a giveaway, so keep an eye on that. It will be for a Swans kit. Smash the subscribe button, comment on what you thought about the transfer news, and we shall catch you next time.
See you soon.
Ta-ra.